Al-Shabaab militants have attacked a police camp in the Mandera area on the border with Somalia. Kenyan authorities say over 20 gunmen raided the camp today. One person was killed in the attack, the latest in a series by the militant group. Police said the group attacked the camp and made away with a police vehicle, a motorcycle, 3 guns and 4 voter registration kits. Kenya is currently registering voters ahead of general elections due in August. The attack comes less than a week since the militant group killed at least 68 Kenyan soldiers in an African Union camp inside Somalia. Police say they have beefed up security in the area and are assessing the situation. The militant group has launched several attacks inside Kenya since the Kenya Defence Forces entered Somalia in October 2011. Now, for more on this, we are now joined by our East Africa correspondent, Sarah Kimani. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. Earlier reports could not confirm the exact number of casualties. Do we now know how many people have died?
Well, what we know is that one student was hit by a stray bullet during the gunfight between the police officers and the attackers. However, the Kenyan government insists that none of its police officers were injured or lost their lives during the attack that happened in the wee hours of Thursday morning.
Now, Sarah, how are authorities responding to this latest attack?
This attack comes just a day after the Inspector General of Police, Joseph Boynet, had toured the vast Mandera area, speaking to police officers and touring the area, seeing the conditions that they live in. And so they're taking it very seriously, and they have said that they have heightened security. They also say that they have dispatched more troops from the Kenyan Defence Forces to patrol the border. But they're also saying that it is becoming difficult to be able to police the area because every time the Al-Shabaab militants hit, they're destroying communication masts for the various mobile telecommunications companies. Take, for example, before the attack that happened yesterday, this morning, they hit one of the major mobile telecommunications companies' communications masts. And so communication between Mandera and the area that was attacked, and also that with the city of Nairobi, had been cut for several hours. And so it was even very difficult to send in reinforcement or even to send more soldiers to be able to offer rescue efforts if they were needed.
Now, this attack came just a week after a military camp was attacked in this very same area. Any arrests linked to the previous attacks?
Well, the attack happened almost a year to when the attack happened, where more than 100 Kenyan soldiers were killed. In this particular attack that happened last week, 68 Kenyan soldiers were killed. But there have been very many attacks around the town, the border town of Mandera, even though the Kenyan government just last week sent out stock footage showing that they had built a long perimeter fence on the porous border between Kenya and Somalia. So it is clear that that is still not yet, the effect of that fence is still not being felt, or probably most of these attackers were already in the country. The Kenyan government saying it is increasing surveillance, not just in Mandera or the northeastern part of Kenya, but also inside other towns where there may be Al-Qaeda cells or Al-Shabaab cells.
Now, is there any particular reason why the militants are so prevalent in the Mandera region? Is it because
Mandera is on the border with Somalia, so it's very easy for any attackers to sneak in and sneak out without being noticed. Also, the area is very, very remote, so sometimes even when they do not attack the communications gadgets or the telecommunications gadgets, sometimes mobile telephony network is not good, the infrastructure like roads are poor, and so even being able to send quick reinforcement is a problem because the roads are very poor. But also, for a long, long time, the border between Kenya and Somalia was not well manned, and it is very long. You're talking about 700 kilometers of an unmanned border until recently. So it was very easy for them to sneak in and sneak out. But it is also a soft target because a lot of the people there are also either they're outsiders, not originally from Mandera, so they come there to work. Take, for example, when they have killed a lot of teachers during the holidays, or they try to attack police stations because the government, what the Kenyan government has done is that it has tried to put in now a lot of police stations. So they feel that there is more impact when they hit police stations and take away and go away with police vehicles or even money to go away with, even if it's just one gun.
Now, in terms of that and the fact that border post, a border line, was what, almost, as you mentioned, 700 kilometers of unmanned entrance between Mandera and Somalia. What is government doing with regards to that and ensuring that they have enough guards or police or the army to ensure that people don't just jump in and out of the two different countries?
Well, a construction has been going on of a fence that will have spread across the whole area, so it will be like a boundary wall of sorts between the two countries. But also what has happened is that now the Kenya Defense Forces is in various areas, both inside Somalia and also on the border with Kenya. They're also going to be putting security cameras, and they'll have entry points that are manned so that initially anybody could get into the country from anywhere. But now the Kenyan government is saying it will have, once the fence is complete, they will have gates which will be manned with security cameras and people to check on passports or travel documents to ensure that anybody who gets into the country then is not any of the insurgents, or because the two countries, the two communities on the border trade with each other, so people during the day will cross over. So they'll basically be trying to see that anybody who enters is either coming back home or coming to trade, and none of those are the insurgents.
Now, Sarah, very quickly, we understand that the assailants also stole some election material belonging to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission as Kenya is gearing up for elections. How true are these reports?
Yes, the reports are true, and the Independent Elections and Boundaries Commission has said that even though those equipment have been stolen, that no data will be manipulated or affected, and they say that all the details of the voters who are registered in that area are safe and will not be affected by the stealing of the equipment.
Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. We have to leave it there for now. That was Sarah Kimani, our East Africa correspondent, joining us on the line.